हेलो बच्चों, लेट्स रीड दिस क्वेश्चन. आइडेंटिफाई द हाईएस्ट एनर्जी फोटॉन्स ऑफ द फॉलोइंग. सो स्टूडेंट्स, इस क्वेश्चन में हमें गिवन ऑप्शंस में से किस ऑप्शन में एनर्जी ऑफ फोटॉन्स हाईएस्ट होगी ये बताना है. फॉर दैट प्लीज नोट द की कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. We says that energy of a photon is given by E equals to hc upon lambda, where h represents Planck's constant, c represents speed of light, and lambda represents wavelength of source. Now, since E equals to hc upon lambda, this shows that energy is inversely proportional to lambda. So, less is the wavelength, more is the energy. So, students, option A says industrial strength microwave cookers. So, students, microwaves, the wavelength of microwaves are of the order of lambda corresponds to 1 millimeter to 1 meters. Option B says high power AM radio transmitters that covers thousands of square miles. So students, radio transmitters transmits signals in the form of radio waves whose wavelength is greater than 1 meter, and this lambda range is for microwaves. Option C says waves from atomic electron transitions among outer orbits. So students, when electron transmits from outer orbits, let's say electron transmits from higher orbit to n equals to 3, electron transmits from higher orbit to n equals to 4, or electron transmits to n equals to 5, where n equals to 3 represents Paschen series, n equals to 4 represents bracket series, and n equals to 5 represents Fund series. So these all series represents the infrared radiation. So students, the waves emitted from electron when it transmits from higher or among outer orbits. So the wavelength of infrared radiation we can write lambda of infrared is nanometers to 1 millimeters. And option D says waves from atomic electron transitions to inner orbits. That is when electron transmits from higher to inner orbits, let's say n equals to 1 or n equals to 2, where n equals to 1 represents Lyman series and n equals to 2 represents Balmer series. So students, these n equals to 2 represents visible rays, and when wavelength transmits from high energy level to ground state, that is n equals to 1, this represents the photon of radiation ultraviolet, and the wavelength of UV rays is less than lambda is less than 400 nanometers. So out of given four options, the shortest wavelength, this was greater than 1 meter. The infrared radiation wavelength was 750 nanometer. Out of this, the shortest wavelength is of UV rays. So we can say that the highest energy photons should be of waves from atomic transitions to inner orbits. That is option D is the correct option of this question. I hope आपको ये concept समझ आया students. Thank you.